Welcome back, friends, to the Cybersecurity Whisperer, where we separate the signal from the spam, help you stay one step ahead of the hackers, and remind you that zero trust should apply to both AI tools and coworkers who bring tuna sandwiches to the office microwave. I'm your host, Elliott Franklin, and today we're talking about shadow AI, deepfake deception, and the US government's new crypto crusade. Oh, and yes, printers are back in the news because, of course, they are. So let's jump right in. Now, here's a stat to make your compliance officer choke on their coffee. According to a new UpGuard report, more than 80% of workers, including nearly 90% of security professionals, are using unapproved AI tools at work. That's right, not just the marketing folks writing press releases with ChatGPT or the HR team accidentally feeding resumes into Midjourney. Even your cybersecurity team is doing it. The foxes aren't just guarding the henhouse, they're teaching the hens prompt engineering. And executives, well, of course, they're the worst offenders. Apparently, they use unapproved AI tools more often and more regularly than anyone else. Because when you're the boss, policy means, for other people. What's wild is that a quarter of workers now say they trust AI more than their human colleagues, especially in healthcare and finance. So yeah, people are trusting ChatGPT with their life and death decisions, and it's still out here confusing Poland with Holland. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? But here's the real insight. UpGuard found that the more employees think they understand AI security tools, the more likely they are to break policy. Translation, confidence does not equal competence. I mean, we've officially entered the I watched a YouTube video, I'm basically a data scientist phase of AI risk. So security leaders, if you think training alone will solve it, come on, think again. Policies don't stop people when curiosity and convenience collide. So treat shadow AI the way you treat shadow IT. Visibility first, then governance. Build approved AI channels, make it easy to use safely, and for the love of NIST, don't pretend blocking OpenAI.com will stop anyone. Well, it's 2025 when hackers don't need to phish your password. They just clone your voice and call the help desk. A new Palo Alto Networks report found that 36% of cyber incidents now start with social engineering, and most of those target executives or privileged users. Because why hack the firewall when you can just call Bob in IT, sound like the CFO, and ask for a password reset? Case in point, the British retailer Co-op lost $275 million this year after hackers impersonated an employee, reset credentials, and started draining the system faster than your team drains your Wi-Fi. Now, executives are prime targets, not because they're tech savvy, but because they're busy, distracted, and they usually have assistant in their email chain somewhere. Attackers use deepfake videos, AI-generated voices, and fake Zoom calls to trick employees into sharing sensitive info or approving fraudulent transfers. So, as we like to always cover here, what can you do? Well, use phishing-resistant MFA, and yes, that means number matching, not press 1 if this feels right. Validate any out-of-band changes like using a known phone number or secure channel, not just Slack. And finally, tell your team if the CEO calls asking for Bitcoin, it's probably not because of a strategic opportunity. I mean, come on, deepfakes are getting scary good. Just remember, if your boss suddenly develops a perfect accent and clear pronunciation, it's probably not him. Well, it's serious when the U.S. government forms a strike force. This week, U.S. Attorney announced the Scam Center Strike Force, a joint operation targeting the Southeast Asian crime syndicates running massive crypto scams. I mean, these aren't your typical Nigerian prince emails. We're talking fake crypto platforms, romance scams, and forced labor scam compounds run by organized crime. The Treasury says Americans lost $10 billion to these scams last year, which was a 66% jump. Now, this initiative aligns with the president's goal to make the U.S. the global center of the world's cryptocurrency industry. A translation is, look, clean up the scammers so investors can safely lose money the old-fashioned way through volatility. But seriously, this task force is going after the infrastructure, fake exchanges, shell companies, and even US-based ISPs and social media accounts helping run the scams. I mean, it's about time, because when grandma's crypto boyfriend in Thailand is actually part of a forced labor ring, That's not just a romance scam, that's human trafficking 2.0. So, what can we, the security crowd, take away? Well, even macro-level scams start with micro-level trust failures. Every one of these victims believed the person or platform they were talking to was legitimate. And so the weakest link in 2025 isn't the endpoint, it's still the human heart. Well, just when you thought it was safe to ignore the Office printer, CyBERSECURITY researchers found hard-coded credentials and no file validation in the Fiery driver update software. That's right, a product literally called Fiery can let attackers drop malware on your network because clearly we've learned nothing from the 1990s. Now, Epson bought Fiery for $500 million last year, and it turns out the updater doesn't even check where its files come from. So, if an attacker gets into your network, they can replace the update with their own payload, and it'll install as a trusted process. Nothing like being pwned by the same device that prints your secure document disposal policy. The moral of the story is, look, patch your printers, treat them like servers, and if you see Fiery in your environment, well, maybe just cool it down a little. Well, two fast stories to wrap up. Microsoft's new Discovery Whisper leak. Attackers can now infer what topic you're talking about with your LLM, even if the traffic is encrypted, just by analyzing packet size and timing. Geez, so basically your AI conversations are whispering secrets through metadata. The fix: use VPNs, avoid untrusted Wi-Fi, and don't talk to ChatGPT about insider trading from Starbucks. Now, Wiz found that 65% of the world's top AI companies had exposed credentials online. Developers moving fast and forgetting the secure part of DevSecOps. I mean, it's like posting your house key on Reddit because you didn't want to lose it. Security isn't just about the cloud anymore. It's about what's hiding in your Git folder. All right, let's wrap it up with some perspective. Here's the theme across every story today. It's trust. Workers trust AI more than people. Attackers abuse trust through voices and faces. Investors trust fake crypto platforms. And vendors trust their own update scripts a little too much. And the lesson, of course, is, look, trust is a privilege, not a default setting. In cybersecurity, it's earned daily by design, by discipline, and by deleting that email that says urgent invoice attached. So remember, look, you can't secure what you don't understand, and you can't defend what you don't see, and you can't outsource common sense to a chatbot. So that's it for this week's episode of Cybersecurity Whisper. Look, if you've learned something new, share it with your team, or at least one person who still thinks AI won't affect my job, because it already has. So until next time, stay curious, stay humble, and remember, if your printer starts asking for admin access, it's not lonely, it's compromised. Have a great week.